Now, when it comes to the Super Bowl halftime show, things just got wild. Following up after Kendrick Lamar's legendary set, people are split. Some are hyped, others are furious over the NFL's pick for 2026. Bad Bunny. Yes, Bad Bunny on the world's biggest stage. Whether you love it or hate it, his name on that ticket proves one thing. Kendrick Lamar didn't just perform, he left a permanent stamp that opened the door for artists outside the usual safe box. And now, the entire game has changed forever. This isn't just another halftime show. It's a cultural earthquake. The choice instantly sparked reactions worldwide. Fans celebrating in the streets, critics crying foul, and social media on fire with memes and hot takes. And guess who made the call? None other than Jay-Z himself, the mastermind behind the NFL's entertainment deals. Hav set this up personally, and now everybody's trying to decode his real agenda. What makes it even crazier is this. After Lamar repped hip-hop in 2025, the NFL didn't chase another rap act. They went global instead. Some fans feel hip-hop got sidelined, but others say Bad Bunny's rise is a win for music as a whole. And yes, even hip-hop culture benefits. Because let's be real, every headline, every argument, every spotlight he gets keeps pushing the culture deeper into mainstream dominance. After a year of chaos over Lamar's announcement, the torch has been passed. And now all eyes are on Bad Bunny to prove whether this gamble is pure genius or a ticking PR time bomb. Kendrick Lamar's halftime show wasn't just big, it was the biggest show we've ever seen by the numbers, and the cultural shockwaves are still being felt today. Sure, most people celebrated it as groundbreaking, but of course, there was that loud crowd who tried to tear it down. The ones who said rap isn't real music, or who got flat out terrified when the art form came at them raw, powerful, and unapologetic. And here's where it gets messy. Going into 2026, even with Jay-Z still holding the reins, there was heavy talk that the NFL might strip him of his influence. Rumors swirled that instead of letting Hav keep reshaping the halftime show, they'd play it safe, handing the mic to Morgan Wallen, Taylor Swift, Post Malone, or Adele. Now, no shade to those stars, but let's be real. If the league had gone that route, it would have been a giant step backwards. It would have signaled that the experiment of giving rap and global artists the spotlight was too risky, and that the suits upstairs couldn't handle it. Think about it. For 6 years straight, Jay-Z has been widening the lane, pulling different genres into the Super Bowl and raising the bar with shows that actually matter. But if they had backpedaled and thrown in a safe pick just to calm critics, it would have proved that Kendrick Lamar's 13-minute masterpiece struck too deep of a nerve. Too real, too raw, too threatening. The kind of art that makes the wrong people in high places uncomfortable. This wasn't just halftime entertainment. It was a renaissance in motion, and the NFL nearly killed it before it could grow wings. Luckily for everyone watching, the NFL didn't fold under the fake outrage. With Jay-Z, one of the sharpest businessmen alive, guiding the ship, they doubled down instead of retreating. What looked like backlash actually turned into fuel. Every critic who screamed, every fan who swore off the show only added more eyes to it. And by throwing hip-hop into the spotlight in 2025 and now pushing into Latin music in 2026, the league hasn't lost ground. They've gained it. The reach, the buzz, the money, all of it skyrocketing. Jay-Z's vision clearly paid off. Kendrick's halftime masterpiece didn't just work, it cracked open a door that had been locked for decades. And it's staying wide open now. Think about the lineup we've gotten in just a few short years. Eminem, Usher, Kendrick Lamar, Dr. Dre, and now Bad Bunny. Compare that to the bland, confusing mashups of the 2010s. Who can forget that disaster where SpongeBob got slapped next to Maroon 5? That was the rock bottom moment, and now we're witnessing the revival of the halftime show as a cultural powerhouse. And that leads us straight to Bad Bunny. Honestly, it makes sense. Look at Kendrick's dominant 2024 run. It earned him the 2025 show. Look at Usher's reign before that. Same story. Now Bad Bunny's resume is just as undeniable. His residency in Puerto Rico has been nothing short of legendary, packed with jaw-dropping arena performances night after night. He's not just putting on concerts, He's building an empire at home, boosting Puerto Rico's economy, giving jobs, and pouring opportunities into his community. So when you zoom out, Bad Bunny isn't just a headliner, he's a movement, and that's exactly what the halftime stage demands in 2026. Just like Usher proved his worth through his Vegas residency and basically auditioned for the Super Bowl before blowing the roof off in 2024, and just like Kendrick Lamar dominated an entire year so hard he was impossible to ignore, Bad Bunny has now stepped into that same lane. His run of performances and his ability to own a stage make it clear he earned this spotlight. By now, he's one of the most electrifying live performers in the entire industry, and the NFL couldn't ignore that even if they wanted to. Of course, that hasn't stopped the haters. The same crowd who once cried rap isn't music is back again, this time whining about Bad Bunny. But the truth is, their outrage feels empty, like they're complaining just for the sake of having something to complain about. When you zoom out and look at the bigger picture, this moment is massive. No matter your personal taste, this decision is proof that the halftime show has officially entered a new era, and Bad Bunny is the face of it. Think about it. In the world of realistic picks, who else could have followed Kendrick Lamar while pushing his message forward? Post Malone? Morgan Wallen? Adele? All great artists, sure, but none of them have the firepower to pull off a cultural moment on this level. Bad Bunny is different. He isn't just another performer. He's the continuation of what I'd call the Kendrick Lamar era of halftime shows. A stretch of time where the stage stopped being safe entertainment and became a bold statement about where music and culture are really headed. And here's exactly what I mean. Just like Kendrick called out Drake on Euphoria, so many of the names being tossed around for the Super Bowl stage are nothing more than industry puppets. They recycle the same 5 surface-level topics: love, heartbreak, money, fame, maybe a little pain, but never give us substance that actually shifts culture. It's music designed to pacify listeners, to spark emotions like sadness, anger, or even hype, but never to dig deeper or truly resonate with the soul. That's why this matters so much. Hip-hop already went through this during the Drake era, when rap became unbalanced and drifted away from what it was always supposed to represent. That's why Kendrick Lamar stands apart, and why he earned his flowers. He climbed to the very top of the game, reached superstar status, but still refused to play by the industry's shallow rules. He broke the mold instead of bending to it, and his success showed the world that you can lead the culture while still making people think, reflect, and even heal. Kendrick's music has fun, sure, but it's also layered with meaning. His storytelling, his messages about real struggles and social truths, the emotions he channels, none of it is fabricated. He doesn't pretend, he doesn't mimic. Unlike so many others who just pump out empty hits, Kendrick gives listeners something authentic, something alive. And that's why his halftime performance wasn't just entertainment. It was a moment of truth on the biggest stage. Let's break it down. Kendrick Lamar proved that in today's era, music can still be 2 things at once: blockbuster entertainment and a powerful universal language. His halftime performance was proof. Every act he pulled into the set, every plotline woven in, even the stage designs and outfit choices, it all had layers. And when you add the narration with Samuel L. Jackson, it elevated the entire show into something deeper than a concert. People sat there stunned, realizing this wasn't just a halftime show. It was art at its highest level. Hearing Kendrick spit bars like "Man at the Garden" on the biggest stage in the world, that was history. Nobody had ever blended fun, raw lyricism, and cultural storytelling like that on a platform as mainstream as the Super Bowl. His back and forth with Samuel L. Jackson, the cinematic narrative, the way it tied social commentary into performance, it was unmatched. And it forced the NFL to admit the halftime stage could be something far more than just easy entertainment. Now, this is where Bad Bunny comes in. Much like Kendrick, his work is packed with detail. You can feel the weight in his choices. Even if you don't understand every lyric, the way he builds stories through visuals, from album covers to set designs, tells you everything you need to know. His latest shows in Puerto Rico weren't just concerts. They were cultural events, complete with narratives and imagery bigger than the music itself. And that's the key. In an industry full of names who show up, collect a check, and give you the bare minimum, Bad Bunny stands out. He's not phoning it in. He's pushing boundaries, carrying forward the torch that Kendrick lit, and proving that the halftime show isn't just back. It's evolving into something untouchable. Bad Bunny isn't bending to the critics or the so-called gatekeepers. He's going above and beyond. Even the branding around this halftime show tells you how massive this is. It's being billed as his only US performance during his current tour. He hasn't touched American soil for this run at all, and that exclusivity alone raises the stakes. Just hearing that announcement adds storytelling weight before the music even starts, and that's how you expand entertainment, by making people feel the gravity of the moment before a single note drops. And here's the genius of it. Even if an audience doesn't understand his lyrics word for word, they get it. The energy, the symbolism, the meaning behind the performance breaks through language barriers. Compare that to the endless cycle of boardroom hits, those lifeless songs cranked out by committees just to keep charts filled until the next generic trend comes along. Bad Bunny is the total opposite of that. His shows stick, his stories matter, and his presence feels like an event, not just another slot in the music machine. When you stack all that up, this halftime performance is not just a win, it's a cultural milestone. And to bring this all full circle, we've got to talk about the man pulling the strings from the shadows, Jay-Z, the architect behind the past 6 halftime shows, the one expanding the pool of who even gets considered for this stage. Every bold choice, every cultural risk, it all ties back to Hov, and he's once again betting on history with Bad Bunny. And look, as a rap fan, of course, I'd love nothing more than for Jay-Z to step onto that stage himself. Imagine Hov reminding an entire generation, the ones who somehow forgot, that he's one of the greatest hitmakers of this century. That moment hasn't happened yet, but the door isn't closed. When Jay's run of picking halftime shows eventually ends, don't be surprised if he closes it out with a bang. Maybe his own set, maybe Beyoncé taking the stage solo, or even both of them sharing it in a once-in-a-lifetime show. You can feel it coming. And when it does, it's going to shake culture all over again. And quick side note for the Beyoncé hive. There might be deeper layers here too. Her Renaissance trilogy feels like it's building towards something huge, maybe even tied to a Super Bowl appearance down the line. Picture Beyoncé closing that arc with the biggest stage on earth, and maybe Jay joining her for a final victory lap. That's history waiting to be written. But right now, the credit has to go to Jay for making this choice. Picking Bad Bunny wasn't safe, it wasn't easy, and it definitely wasn't the pick the boardrooms wanted. Behind the scenes, the pressure was heavy for him to chase a safe name like Taylor Swift to calm critics after Kendrick shook the world. That would have been the corporate move, the pacifier for the crowd that felt too uncomfortable with Lamar's brilliance. Instead, Jay doubled down, took another risk, and gave the stage to Bad Bunny, proving once again that he's rewriting what halftime shows even mean. Here's the truth. Jay-Z has basically pulled off behind the scenes what Beyoncé is doing musically with her Renaissance trilogy. He's flipped the entire game in the boardrooms, making sure the halftime stage isn't locked to just one side of music anymore. For years, only a select style of safe acts ever got this gig, but now, the door is wide open for creators of all backgrounds to showcase their art, bring their culture to the forefront, and turn the halftime show into something impactful again. And this is what makes Jay different. It's the same thing Kendrick Lamar embodies, and maybe even learned from Hov himself. At the superstar level, the most valuable quality you can have isn't just making hits, it's carrying your art form on your back. Jay-Z and Kendrick do this flawlessly. They don't water themselves down to become mascots for the industry. They don't pacify listeners with shallow, forgettable records. They build legacies. And in an era where most artists are pressured to do the bare minimum, that makes them dangerous and unforgettable. For Jay-Z, it's clear his legacy with the Super Bowl isn't about personal glory. It's about reshaping what the halftime show means. He put hip-hop at the center when the industry said it couldn't happen. He proved the genre was the biggest in the world, and he made the NFL follow suit. Now, he's running the exact same play with Latin music. By convincing the boardrooms of its size, power, and global influence, he set the stage for Bad Bunny to take the crown, just like he once did with Kendrick. And that's not just business, that's empire building. At the end of the day, Jay-Z's genius is in how he wins over boardrooms full of people who have zero connection to culture or reality. He takes executives who normally wouldn't know the difference between a real movement and a marketing gimmick and somehow gets them to buy into his vision. That's why all of this has been possible. Hav pushes art forward without dragging himself or his team into bad business, a balance almost nobody else can pull off. And that's what sets the stage for this next Super Bowl. Critics love to paint Jay as some shadowy figure ruining music, but break it down and you'll see the truth. He's operating like the Michael Jordan of this industry. First, he dominated as a performer, and now, just like Jordan becoming an NBA owner, he's shaping the very game he once played in. He's calling shots in spaces that used to be controlled by people with money, but no understanding of culture, and flipping them into believers in his blueprint. Look at what's happening now. Jay-Z setting the table, Kendrick Lamar having already cracked open the door, and Bad Bunny ready to light the fuse with a halftime show that could shake the industry to its core. Whether you're a fan of Bad Bunny's music or not, doesn't even matter. What matters is recognizing the historic moment this is, the culmination of Jay-Z's chess moves and Kendrick's cultural breakthrough. So if you care about hip-hop, if you respect artistry, if you know the power of culture when it refuses to be silenced, you have to appreciate what's unfolding. The Super Bowl stage has officially become the biggest arena for truth, and Jay-Z is the one who made it happen. We're stepping into a new era of halftime shows, and it's clear we're going to see more of these culture-shifting performances for years to come. With all this said, what do you think about Bad Bunny taking the stage at the Super Bowl? Are you excited, skeptical, shocked? I genuinely want to hear your thoughts, not just on Bad Bunny, but also on Jay-Z's power moves behind the scenes, Kendrick Lamar paving the way, and where this moment might lead the music industry next. I can't wait to read what you all have to say about this monumental shift. And if you made it all the way to this point in the video, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and share it. It really does help me out a ton. You can even become a channel member today to show extra love and support for the videos. And speaking of videos, if you want to see what went down just before this, like the wild story of how Kendrick Lamar had a show canceled and the media twisted the narrative around it, check out the suggested video. It reveals how the industry reacts when the king of rap shakes the system, and maybe even why so many people are scared of the truth.